Well, let's begin the third in this series, in this Getting Started with gCADPlus, using the Imperial version of gCADPlus. I'm looking at a developing design for a small courtyard. We have a couple of buildings, paths running around the edge of the building, and then we've got an enclosed area. We put a rectangle down, we put some patterning in there, and we put some symbols in, and we want to use some of the more advanced features in gCADPlus to tag those symbols with particular species names. So I've attached a plant database file that's called rm.gcp, just stands for Garden CAD file, and it's living on the desktop at the moment, but it is part of the gCADPlus program, and you can load it quite easily via gCADPlus, plant schedules, and attached. So once attached, let's look at it. And I'll just widen it a little. So you can see it's a database file with the botanical name on the left, first column, then the common name, then my classification of the height, but you might use completely different classification, and again a code. I've just taken the first two characters of the species name, and then the second two characters of the specific name. So BETH is meant to identify Berberis thunbergii. So there's the plant database file. You can sort things in all sorts of ways. So if you want to find, say, all the tall shrubs, large shrubs, medium shrubs, you just click here. That sorts the whole database. We could sort on alphabetical order of common name or back to the as delivered. So there's the plant database file. It's attached to this drawing and this drawing only. So that's okay. Now we want to tag some of these symbols. Let's imagine that this symbol here might be tagged to, or might meant to indicate, a crepe myrtle. So we'll say gCADPlus, plant schedules, set data to a plant. We'll pick this symbol that we just identified, and we can expand it just a little. I want to find crepe myrtle, so I can do it in this way. I'm going to set it to Pocomoke. I'll pick another one in a minute and set it to one called Cherry Dazzle. So I'll OK that, and maybe we'll put this one over here and attach that to the crepe myrtle Cherry Dazzle. I think we've got those correct. And now I'll right click, and now when I click on that symbol, can you see that over here in the properties box there's a misspelling of myrtle, M-Y-R. And that's actually important. If you can get your own particular plant database file correctly, everything correctly named, once we generate a plant schedule, we know that everything's going to be spelled correctly. If I unselect that one and come back over here, it's the other one that we identified. And this time there is no spelling error in it. So what I'm going to do now is just work a little further along and identify and tag some of these others. At the moment, if we want to, we can say, show me symbols with names. So all of those symbols now have names. That's particularly useful when you're near the end of this tagging process. So let me pause the recording for the moment, and I'll tag some other species. Well, I've worked through and tagged everything. Let's just confirm that. Let's show symbols with names, and there they all are. They're all tagged. So once they're all tagged, we can draw a plant schedule, and that's down the bottom here. So we're going to draw a standard schedule. We're asked to type in the height of text. I'll type 0.3 and a corner point, and we go down. I might have to zoom out just a little. We'll click there, and there's the schedule that's drawn. The plant symbol is shown, the botanical name and the common name is shown there. So we now have a complete plant schedule. If we zoom in on the schedule, notice there's one Abelia grandiflora rose, which is this symbol here. I think it's that one. No, that's a buxus there, a group of buxus. So I need to find in the design the Abelia. And to do that, I've got a tool, say search for a symbol. And I just type Abelia. Whoops, click in here. And we'll go OK. And if we now drop out, here it is. And remember, there is only one in the design. So if I select it now and copy it a number of times, like so, I can even scale this one down if I want. And that'll scale the other one, which I didn't particularly want, but I can now, I'll move that one out of the way, pick that one, move it back in. So I've added at least 4 extras. So I can come over to our plant schedule and we can say, remember we had 1, we now say gCADPlus and update the schedule. And it scans the whole drawing and updates that number to 4. So we now have done our little design. It's a concept for this space. We still have to populate it with some more symbols, which we've already tagged. So we can do that by filling in this little area through here. And but we'd want to display that on our layout. This plant schedule comes in as what's called a block. A block before, when we brought in that sketchy set. So what I'm going to do is move to our layout now, and I'll double click and just move things like so, and then display on the layout. I can even pick this one and just move it up into the top corner. What I'm trying to do is to arrange, I want to put a view of that schedule somewhere in a convenient place, maybe up in the top right. So I right click and add a viewport, and I draw a little viewport like so, then double click it and then just go, that jumps into that view, and then right click and display it on the layout. So we now have 2 floating viewports, each within their viewport. Might be a good time to select these and just set the colour to 255, and we'll OK that now. And you see now, when we zoom extents, there's our layout sheet. We haven't added any other information, but we've now got the plant schedule there. And of course, when we click on this layout, we don't have that one, but we've got an ability to pop it in that zone. But as you've seen, most of your design work happens in this space. So the next phase is to, I think, perhaps put some text in and maybe put some dimensioning in and some extra notes about how you see this design developing. But I think for the moment that's enough.